2019 was a decent year for video games. In the middle of releases such as Death Stranding, the remake of Resident Evil 2, and Days Gone, there was a game that caught my attention, and it turned out to be a pretty decent surprise. Released in 2019 and developed by a Asobo studio, A Plague Tale Innocence was a hidden gem that many overlooked. With 35 achievements and only 50 collectibles to grab, it requires one playthrough, and you can sink quite a few hours into it. It all begins in France, where we see Robert and Amicia enjoying a stroll in the forest with their dog Leon. After some quality family time, Leon finds a wild boar, and upon injuring the animal, we must chase him deep into the forest, where the beautiful autumn vibes turn into a dark, muddy place. Eventually, we find the boar completely decimated, and our precious dog is nowhere to be found. We soon spot it half dug into a hole on the ground, where he sadly passes away, and the game is over. We return to our castle, where we must find our mother to tell her about what happened. In here, we can start the collectible part of the game. There are 3 types of collectibles: gifts, curiosities, and flowers. We find the first collectible and go to the back of the stables, where a training ground was set up for us to test our sling. Breaking the 6 pots gets us we go into our home, where we learn that there are people being bit and getting sick. We need to speak with our mother, who is on a room with our little brother. Upon our interaction with our dear mother, we see that she's not really present in our lives since our brother is sick with something. We finally meet the little guy named Hugo. But at the same time, we see that our home is being attacked, and by peeking through the window, we see our father die right in front of us. The castle is being invaded, and even with us seeing the servants being killed and not even snitching on us, we need to leave the castle without being spotted. When we get down to the kitchen, a guard sees us, but our dear mother makes sure to knock him out with a rock, making her a stone-cold killer. With family reunited, we need to continue to sneak away. After distracting guards and hiding in the middle of flowers, Hugo has some sort of an attack. After calming down, we keep sneaking away until a servant opens the door for us to escape. Beatrice says that we have to take Hugo to Laurentius, a doctor, while she stays behind to buy us some time, dying in the process. Running like the wind, the ground starts shaking and we jump into the river, completing the first chapter of the game.
Take a deep breath.
After getting out of the river, we reach into a village that appears to be empty until we see smoke in the distance. Eventually, we see some villagers who run away from us. We learn that some houses have sick people inside, and, being the good sister that we are, we give Hugo an apple, giving us After being lost for over 5 minutes, we reach the place where we spotted the smoke. The villagers have been burning the sick people alive to make sure the disease doesn't spread, and just like before, we need to run away from them. Eventually, we get inside the house, and after evading the villager inside, we have to keep running until we have to distract and avoid some more guards. After a lot of running, an elder lady named Clervy gives us refuge and allows us to change our outfits and rest for a while. Hugo throws a tantrum because he wants to go back to his mother, and Clervy tells us that everything that happened so far was because of the plague. We tell her that we are looking for Laurentius, and she tells us that the local monks might tell us where he is. We decide to go to the church, but first we can start upgrading our sling. The villagers finally figure it out where we are, and we need to make a run for it. But Hugo throws another tantrum and runs away from us after learning that both our parents are dead. Going after him, we see Hugo being grabbed by a villager and we make the decision to kill him. We keep running after Hugo, where Conrad, the new leader of this small revolution, grabs Hugo and we need to take him out. And there's nothing like getting hit with a rock across the skull to do just that. And with Conrad gone, the villagers make their move and we run inside the church. Inside the church, we need to find the monk so we can go to Laurentius. we slowly start to see how much the guilt is consuming Amicia after she killed 2 people. After exploring for a while, we find Father Thomas and he warns us that it's dangerous to be inside the church. First, he tells us to leave, but after seeing we are the children of Robert the Rune, he decides to help us. After all, we are still running from the Inquisition. The monk takes us inside, but soon we see that something is wrong and rats start overflowing the place. Sadly, they devour Father Thomas. We then learn that the rats are afraid of the light and we need to get to safety using our torch. We start upgrading our gear little by little, and after a long time exploring the church, we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Literally. After running away from the rats, we finally get outside. On our way to Laurentius, we see that the Inquisition is still searching for us. We still need to evade the guards, but I like to channel my inner anger, and from time to time I just take them out because I can. After a lot of evading and 0 incidents, we reach an open area where Hugo storms off. When we find Hugo without him seeing us, we get
Hugo! You found me! Do you really think this is the time to be playing games? But... do you want the gods to catch you?
We reach another farm, and the Inquisition is also here looking for us. Even though I don't like to be this stealthy, it's not like I can go on a killing spree. Yet.
I know I saw something.
Yeah, that's better. After a long crusade, we enter a broken building and we finally sneak away from the Inquisition. Hugo has another attack and we have to give him a piggy ride until we reach Laurentius. We reach an open area where dead animals are spread as far as we can see, and we need to cross this swamp to reach the farm where Laurentius lives. But the Mickey Mouse family is also here, making it hard to walk. We reach a cart that we can light on fire, making it easy to walk among the rats. We made it into the farm, but everything is too quiet. We go inside this house, where we see that Laurentius is lying in bed sick and is being taken care of by his apprentice Lucas. We tell Laurentius that the Inquisition came for us, and he tells us that they came for Hugo because an ancient evil runs through our veins. He tells us that we need to continue what he and our mother started, and we need to go to the
Château d'Ombrage.
Laurentius dies in bed, and now we need to go to the barn to make something called the ignifer. The rats made it inside the house, and now we need to make sure that we can leave. The barn is filled with rats, but we need to make the ignifer here. So, to distract them, we lure a pig into the barn so he can serve as bait so we can progress, upsetting Hugo in the process. Inside the lab in the barn, Lucas teaches us how to make the ignifer, but the rats get in. With this new type of ammo in hand, we can set things on fire, getting the rats away from us. After an explosion caused by the rats, we take the opportunity to run until we reach a small boat near the river, allowing us to flee from the farm. We learn that Hugo has something called the macula on its blood, and it simply evolves within the host to change things. After we leave the small creek, we reach an old war zone where several bodies are spread across the ground. On our way to the aqueduct that will take us to the chateau, a horse explodes and rats come from the inside. And if the rats weren't enough of a problem, we see 2 people in the distance that appear to be looters. And now we can join the Inquisition onto that equation, so there are several things to keep in mind while we sneak around in this area. We find another cart we can set on fire to help us go through the rats, but we have to take care of the soldiers around here first. We get inside an old building where a soldier is trapped inside, surrounded by rats. We can either kill him or save him, but I do think that Amicia already has enough trauma on her plate, so we just save him.
You saved me! Oh, thank you! Thank you!
You won't give the alert, will you?
The alert now!
In exchange for not killing him, he let us pass, and when we do, we see a guard that we can take out easily, so Lucas teaches us a new type of ammo called the Somnum, who can put people to sleep. When we were about to end our trip across the battlefield, Hugo has another attack, and on the other side of the wall, we see the Inquisition once again. Evading them as the experts we are, we reach a spot where the looters we saw earlier were caught and are now being questioned. Trying to sneak around them, they rat us out, and they use the confusion to their advantage to knock the guards out, setting themselves free. As we escape, Hugo trips, and as we try to save him, we get knocked out, finally getting caught by the Inquisition. After being captured, we are now alone, no Hugo and no sling. For some unknown reason, the looters that snitch on us are the ones setting us free. They are Arthur and Melly, and they are here to help us escape. First things first, we need to get our gear back so we can rescue Hugo. We sneak around the Inquisition camp and finally find Hugo locked in a cage. The soldiers are now aware that we have escaped, so the security is on high alert. With Melly's assistance, we get our stuff back and we rescue Hugo. With him by our side once again, we start looting everything we can, leaving no stone unturned. Peacefully, of course. Only the main gate separates us from freedom, but just as we reach it, the man who killed our father appears. Thankfully, Arthur creates a diversion and we can make a run for it. All we need to do before our escape is to protect Melly from the soldiers while she picks a lock. And when she finally does so, we are free. Finally free from the Inquisition, we need to get back to Lucas, but first we need to stay hidden for a while. So our good friend Melly is taking us to a hideout. While we are here, we find another collectible, this time giving us
A horseshoe! Wow, we're rich. We may not be rich, but a little luck would be appreciated.
With the aqueduct back in sight, Hugo suffers another attack, and we have to hurry to Melly's hideout so we can rest. Finally in a safe place, we fall asleep, but sadly the Inquisition has already caught up with us and we are forced to move again. Inside the tunnels beneath the hideout, Melly teaches us how to craft a new type of ammo, Devorantis, which we quickly use to knock a guard's helmet off. Back outside, the forest is crawling with guards and we have to take them out one by one. With every guard knocked out, we continue our journey. After we found a way inside the tower, we see a guard taking Lucas to somewhere, but we quickly save him. Reunited with our friend, we make way to the aqueduct. Eventually you reach a dead end until Melly finds a way inside. In this hidden lake, there's the boat that will take us to the other side, and now we just need to find the chateau. Behind the door, a swarm of rats awaits, but after dealing with them, we finally reach our goal, the castle. After evading even more rats, we make it inside, but as usual, they've already infested the place. Using contraptions already present in the castle, we manage to create a path forward, eventually trapping all the rats in a deep pit. At last, we step inside, finally safe. As we explore the castle, we come across a hidden grave, getting us.
Let's go.
Melly wants to leave and find out what happened to Arthur, while Lucas warns us that Hugo is getting sicker by the day, and the only way to slow down the process of the macula is by making an elixir. However, the recipe is in a forbidden book hidden inside the university. Melly mentions that it's near the place where her brother is being held, so she offers to help us get inside. On our way to the university, we find our sixth flower and we get. Melly opens the door of a castle that happens to be the quickest way to reach the university. Along the way, we learn how to craft something called odoris, a substance that attracts rats wherever we choose. After crossing a cemetery, we see that the Inquisition released the rats on the sick, leaving a sea of bodies in their path. We finally reach the university's entrance, deal with the soldiers, and force our way through the main door to begin our search for the forbidden book.
The university. Right, the book.
We are finally inside university and our goal is clear, a book with a red cover. After a lot of looting, we managed to fully upgrade the sling. But the achievement doesn't trigger. It's fine, not panicking, I'll just play along. As we explore further, we reach a room where an alchemist is draining blood from a corpse to inject into Vitalis. Nearby, we spot the son of the blacksmith who forged the door that protects the book, being taken captive to open it for the Inquisition. While preparing for the rescue mission, I upgrade my ammo bag and...
This should make things a little easier.
Okay then. We enter the room where the blacksmith is, and after taking out a guard, he starts opening the door. All we have to do is keep him safe from the other guards while he does so. We run through some corridors until we reach a large room where more books are on display. And here is the location with the red roses that has the book. We finally have the book, but the Inquisition is also here. We run through the basement once more until we get outside. Roderick, the young man we saved, teaches us how to make extinguish, something we can use to put out fires. We immediately craft it and we get...
Just need to aim at the fire.
To leave the university, we have to cross the gardens. Once we make it through, there's just one hallway left between us and freedom, but it's on fire. We push through, finally leaving the place. We're back at the chateau with our new friend, Roderick. After exploring the castle for a bit, Lucas calls us saying that Hugo's having another attack. The macula is spreading fast, and Lucas says he needs a better lab, so we decide to head back to the Darun state to use our mother's laboratory. Just as we are about to leave, Melly returns and she's brought Arthur back, safe and sound. They also tell us they've heard about another prisoner, our mother, Beatrice. Hugo suffers another attack, and with no time to waste, we head out immediately. We return home only to find that the rats have become Beyblades. We ignore them, step into a small cabin, and discover the final gift.
Mother's reed pen. She used to write all her letters here before sending them by pigeon. I can't leave it here.
In the middle of the rat infestation, two guards stand near the lights. We leave the area without killing them, earning us...
My home. Is that a body over there?
We are getting closer to home, but a fidget spinner made out of rats suddenly appears in front of us, and we have to take them out. Now, we need to find out where our mother's lab is. We go inside our house and see that, unlike the guards, our servants weren't eaten alive. The house has become a massive nest for the rats, but Hugo's room remains untouched. The lab isn't here, which means we have to go somewhere Beatrice had always forbidden Amicia from entering. The bath. We make our way into the bath, and after lighting up a series of symbols, we unlock a hidden door that leads us to the lab we've been searching for. We search inside and find the elixir that Beatrice and Laurentius had been working on. It's unfinished, so Lucas needs to complete it while we protect him from the rats once again. With the potion finally ready, the rats freeze in place. And for now, it means we can return safely. We make it back home and give Hugo the elixir, hoping it will heal him. We wake up to find Hugo missing. Amicia rushes out to search for him, but falls into a pit and loses consciousness. She wakes up, or so she thinks, reliving her journey so far, meeting Clervy, returning to Laurentius' farm, and finally seeing her mother alive. Then Hugo appears, accusing her of being jealous before pushing her away. Amicia wakes up for real this time, only to see Hugo being taken. After knocking out the guards and rescuing him, they prepare to leave until Hugo hears Beatrice's voice and runs into the wood. She follows until she reaches a rat's nest, filled with corpses of those she killed. Slowed by guilt, she watches helplessly as Nicholas takes Hugo and the rats swallow her whole. Hugo flees and turns himself over to the Inquisition, hoping it will bring him back to Beatrice. Unlike with Amicia, where we fight and run, with Hugo we can only hide. As we slowly move through the castle, Hugo suffers another attack but pushes forward. While sneaking through the halls, we learn how the Inquisition works. We also hear that the Church never approved of Vitalis' experiments, so the Archbishop has arrived to excommunicate him. Nicholas is then ordered to speak with Beatrice. Breaching the entrance of the dungeon before him gives us We reach the dungeon and free Beatrice after Nicholas finishes talking to her. She asks Hugo about the macula and he says that he hears a voice talking with him. She simply tells him to embrace it. And now we can control rats. Using them, we make our way towards the exit, but the Inquisition surrounds us. Nicholas orders Beatrice's execution and we fight back with the rats, but after repeated use, Hugo collapses, powerless to stop them from taking our mother. Amicia wakes up 3 days after falling into the pit. A month later, we still have no idea where Hugo is. While exploring the castle, we upgrade our gear one last time and unlock...
Not bad. Not bad at all.
We go outside where Melly and Arthur are once again arguing about whether they should leave or not. After we light the braziers to keep the rats away, something unexpected happens. The rats completely ignore them, destroy them, and invade the castle as they please. After relighting the braziers and retreating inside, the rats break in and we see the culprits, Nicholas and Hugo. We're captured by Nicholas, who orders Hugo to kill us. As we try to escape, Arthur drops an entire pile of rocks and wood on Nicholas, seemingly stopping him for good. Amicia tries to explain everything to Hugo and somehow, in a desperate attempt, she manages to get through to him. But sadly, Nicholas is still alive and strikes Arthur down with his sword. After a very long back and forth using the rats to attack Nicholas, we finally manage to kill him, this time for good, avenging Arthur. Melly cries the death of her brother and says she wants to finish this once and for all. And since we have nothing left to lose, we agree. They have an army, but we have rats, so it's pretty much the same thing.
To the death. To the death.
We go back to the city, but this time we don't need to worry about the rats. After being separated from Lucas and Melly, we make our way through the town center. Our goal is the cathedral where Vitalis is, but before that we enter the last alchemist cart, unlocking Eventually we find Lucas and Melly and they tell us that Vitalis is inside the cathedral. However, many soldiers are heading our way. The only way to reach the cathedral is through a house that's currently on fire, but before we need to defeat all the guards. And after exploring for a while, we find the last flower. We're finally outside after going through the fire. Eventually, we turn to an alleyway that turns out to be where Roderick used to live. Sadly, everything was burned to the ground. We need to use a cart to cross the street, watched by archers. With Roderick pushing the cart alone, our job is to protect him until we reach the gate. Sadly, Roderick gets shot, but true to his nature, he carries on, protecting us, opening the gate, and making sure we can continue. Sadly, he passes away. Near the cathedral entrance, we take our revenge by killing all the guards. There, we also collect the final curiosity, being the last collectible of the game.
Visitor's manual. Are you serious? There's actually a manual for this shit. It was written before Vitalis.
We get inside the cathedral where we see the countless victims sacrificed by Vitalis. The same way Hugo controls rats, so does Vitalis, so this is going to be a micey action. After several rounds of dodging his rats and destroying his fidget spinners, we make sure to hit him right in the head to kill him once and for all. After gathering supplies for Lucas, we return to the carriage where he is waiting for us. With Beatrice resting in the back, it's just the four of us now, since Melly decided to go on her own after everything that happened. On a sour note, we follow the road, searching for something better. What an experience. I'm not the biggest fan of stealth mechanics, but in this game it just worked. It fit the story perfectly. I loved how it gave you the choice to either go on your offensive or sneak your way through, and that kind of balance really kept me engaged. Honestly, I loved every part of this game. The characters were the heart of it all. Roderick's death really hit hard, and I really wanted all the orphans to make it through, to find some kind of happiness, or at least stay together. I am aware that this kind of story was never meant to have an happy ending. With that said, I'm just glad there's a sequel, and now we'll be playing it. I do recommend this game without a doubt, and if you watched my whole journey, thank you so much, and I hope to see you on the next one.